Attorney Charles, we thought it'd be imperative that you talk to one of our family members whose child was killed here on the island due to what we now know as an attractive nuisance. Attractive nuisance. Leaving keys in the vehicles of state vehicles, and the young boy at 15 years old got in the vehicle. You can call it stealing, joyriding, but on Sapelo Island with children having nothing to do. Nothing. No job opportunities. No community activities. So they were joyriding, and because of that attractive nuisance, this lady's child died in the vehicle that the state owned. And we're trying to figure out what process and procedure in that particular case we use. When did that happen? Today.
August 28th.
August 28th.
Of last year.
2011.
2011.
The matter currently in litigation. So we'll do that in private conversation when you're ready. But if we talk about the Caucasian male who passed away on the island last year because we don't have the proper phone service and what we know as essential services, the Caucasian young man coming out of the plantation house area during a wedding, then apparently going back at a high rate of speed, maybe inebriated, hit a tree. These trees don't move. Once he hit that tree, my understanding per the reports is that the front of the vehicle collapsed on him, and then he was found with his phone in his hand. Now this may be conjecture, but we can find out for sure because we have a state representative here who can tell us what his report says. But our understanding is through the lack of essential services, we are in harm's way of dying every day. I would like the community now, we got to talk. We got to talk. Michelle, we got to talk. Because Joseph, you want to talk about cemeteries? Let's talk. We got them here today. We have to let them hear our voices. Who wants to start? Please.
My name is Joseph Hall. I'm a resident of the island. I've been back here for about 7 years, but I've been living abroad for about 30 years. I came back home to find the Edge Cemetery looking like the junk. I mean, it literally was a junk. For lack of attention, lack of maintenance. I took it upon myself to go in that cemetery and work. Within a year, I've got it pretty clear. Not to even mention that you got some people over here that have got escaped into the house. They all went into the cemetery. There was a group of people in the cemetery. One day I went in there after I went out there and cleared. These people were in that cemetery with candles. The cemetery is owned by the community.
But we don't have the deed in our hand.
Supposed to be owned by the community. The community should have secured the deed on that cemetery many years ago. It came when they started, when they formed Sapelo, when Sapelo was organized. One of Sapelo's main goal was supposed to be to secure the cemetery and deed for the cemetery. They never rose up to the occasion to do anything.
What was the name of that entity? Sapelo Island Cultural and Revitalization Society, which is a non-profit organization that is now being investigated by the IRS for 3949A.
So the cemetery, as I speak, is being desecrated every day. I mean, every time family members lose a loved one, they go to the cemetery, have the grave digger dig graves, and they're digging over all used area already. Everything, all the used old graves, many of them didn't get headstones. About 2/3 of the cemetery, they never got received headstones. And that's a problem that we have that's still continuing nowadays as I speak. But the community needs to stop using the old side of the Hague Cemetery and move to new ground. I raised that issue about almost 2 years ago.
Why did that happen?
Sir?
Why is that not happening?
Well, since I raised the issue to the community, they said, okay, we'll move to new ground. They got about 3 or 4 acres adjacent to the old existing site that they've been using ever since the beginning. Now, they literally will not stop using that old side of the cemetery.
When you say that, you mean the community won't stop you?
Yes, sir, the community people, they're going to reach the people. Now, as the great little grave, it's known that they're finding bones every time. I mean, not every time, maybe not every time, but they're finding bones, literally finding bones as they try to dig the grave. Why don't these people, community people, understand it's beyond my imagination that it's disgraceful to do that. The issue's been raised several times. Many of them have stated, from time to time, certain people are going to want to be put there when they die. So that means we're not going to stop using. We just lost a lady a few months ago. Her husband had a headstone made, a double headstone. She has been laid to rest on the old side, and now it's parked. It is waiting for him when he leaves. And in the process,
but what we're looking at is encroachment on that cemetery. We wouldn't have that problem. If one, the archaeologists came in and did the proper archaeological studies on where the bodies are buried. We know bodies are buried outside of the fence. Do we know who put that fence up, who maintains that fence?
as far as I know, someone in the community, Tracy Walker, put the fence up. But when he put the fence up, the fence was not put in its proper place.
So we've been talking to the Department of Natural Resources as we've known the encroachment process of that cemetery from the west road to the middle road.
You asked DNR for services and they haven't provided.
That is correct. But you're talking about just in this instance?
Well, we're talking about the cemetery, right?
Well, you have to remember, we're also talking to the DNR of the cemetery that's been eradicated and has a sign that says DNR owns that property. So DNR has now agreed to send the archaeologists, Dave Crass and other archaeologists with GPR LiDAR to now give us back one of our other cemeteries that have been under illegal claim. But that's just one of two that we're talking about, and we know
the second cemetery is not open yet.
No, the second cemetery is on the National Register of Historic Places owned by the community, which is behavior. The first cemetery that we're talking about is known as New Orleans on the south end that the state, for the DNR, has claimed that land.
I was speaking about the behavior cemetery. This is a different cemetery, which is longer than ours. New Orleans Cemetery is out in New Orleans woods out there. And no one seems to know where it's at. But we know where that cemetery is.
You gotta get out here. And Mr. Hay here is helping me with the murder pattern and trying to figure that out.
And Mr. Hay, you said the one that you've cleaned up is the second one, the community one?
That's Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall, I'm sorry.
Sir,
You said the one that you spent your own time cleaning up is the second community?
it's behavior cemetery, which is a historic cemetery as well. But my problem is, why are the community people still using that cemetery, the old side, to bury the loved ones when they know they got a new space right there adjacent to it that we cleared off since I went to them with the complaint. And they said we were going to stop using the new side. But now they're also showing that they're not going to stop using the old side. It's disgusting.
That's a community problem.
That's a community problem that I have a problem with.
When you mentioned essential services, can you talk about what those are?
Well, again, we go back to water and sewage, we go back to drainage, We go back to what we have done as an assessment, and we're not the professionals, but we know that 80% of the homes on this island are of substandard quality of life conditions. When we talk about quality of life, we're talking about trailer homes on the 4th largest barrier island in the state of Georgia. I want somebody to look that law up. Are trailer homes even allowed on the 4th largest barrier island in the state of Georgia? First, our research shows us no. But when we talk about this,
Can we address some of these issues and break them down into smaller components so that we can at least see if we can find an answer or a solution to some of them, or whether or not they even fall within our prayer?
can we do that, Mr. Bartel?
I mean, when you talk about water and sewage, are we talking about a failure of the political system? I mean, that's clearly a local issue. County commissioners control the rate that water and sewage is expanded and where it goes. And so what exactly are we talking about? Is your local elected officials refusing to act? Are they acting in some cases and failing to act in other cases? What exactly are we alleging that they've done wrong?
Your point is valid. So the specificity of your point is absolutely valid. So what we're communicating is the following. There are administrative practices in each department that are set up as operating practices to be followed. And we're saying because those practices, operating practices, were not following, the following has happened. We have poor water services, poor sewer treatment, substandard housing, non-available medical services, non-availability of educational services, non-availability of transportation and road management. All of these policies, laws, and administrative practices and operating practices are on the books.
Okay.
We don't have.
So, and I understand, if I'm right, I understand that you're saying that those administrative procedures are not being followed for racially discriminatory reasons.
Absolutely.
Another suggestion I would have on the basics of getting these things addressed. I would also recommend talking with the state of Georgia, if not at DNR directly, or the state of Georgia Attorney General's office, because they would have jurisdiction over, the following state laws as it pertains to sewage, water, drinking. So that would be another, avenue I think.
What's been the response of your elected officials? Had they been, I don't know, were they invited today?
Yes.
Everybody,
All the commissioners and
every last one.
you have a city manager?
He was invited as the city manager and the city, and the county manager, as well as the attorney for the county, as well as the building services inspector for the county, as well as the tax commissioner, as well as the tax assessor's office.
Sapelo Island is a barren island, and it's more or less under the state of Georgia jurisdiction. And in their bylaw, they said that the state of Georgia, which is under DNR, should provide essential service for the people on Sapelo Island, such as water.
We understand, but you're a politician, you understand that, having a regular guideline that says we'll provide, but it's all dependent upon how the money is allocated, the tax dollars are allocated. So is the state of Georgia not properly allocating? I mean, is that what we're talking about?
Well, let's answer your question.
Failure to allocate?
That's why we're here, we're getting whole service.
Well, what's happening is going on, that side is not coming here. They are getting money to the state, we are part of the state crime. It's not coming here, it's coming on that side.